Hey everybody, what's going on? Looks like they turned up the knobs a little bit on me. I'm getting harassed today pretty bad. A lot of lurkers around my house. People I've never seen in my neighborhood parked out in front of my house with their lights on, doing the typical thing. They do something immediately when I walk out the front door. You know, the timing. I walk out my front door, the guy's sitting there in his Toyota truck with the lights on. Opens his door, dumps out an entire, like a brand new soda, just dumps it out on the ground under his truck. You know, they know I don't like people littering in our neighborhood. I'd go out and pick up the trash. Be trash on my front doorstep the next day after I pick the trash up. You know, stupid stuff like that. Just 7-year-old mentality. These people, they act like little babies. And I guess what you have to do is you just have to I think of Bill Burr a lot when I'm going through this, because that guy gets heckled and booed, and people write him hate mail because he says what's going on. He talks about what's going on. And, he's the messenger. He's not the person doing whatever he's talking about. And these people react to information. So I was in the post office just now. Picking up a package, doing post office stuff. And there was a man in there. I don't know, I guess he's 60, 65, something like that. And I noticed he looked down at my ankle bracelet when I walked in. I was pretty sure he noticed it, because he looked right at it and he looked up at me, and he didn't react, he didn't act weird or anything, but he was filling some stuff out, and he walked to the back of the line. So me and the guy behind me both said, "Hey man, if you want to come up here, you're already waiting. It's your turn. Go ahead." And he was like, "No, thank you. It's okay. I'm retired." And he's like, "I got time. I'm retired. You guys go ahead." So I was appreciative of that. I mean, I am. I'm in a hurry a lot. Got a business to run. Anybody owns a business, you don't get up and show up at work at 8, leave at 5. You're there all day. And so you try to multitask. You try to get as much done as you possibly can. And I really appreciated that. And I just kind of I wanted to talk to the guy. He seemed like a cool guy. Wow, look at this truck. So anyway, I talked to the guy, and I said, "Hey man, I noticed you looked down, you saw my ankle monitor when when I walked in, and I just thought I'd make some conversation." I go, "You know that they'll put these things on you before you're even convicted." I said, "I haven't been convicted. I haven't had my chance to go to court and make it through this, which I don't know what the outcome's going to be of that anyway. I could end up in jail or take this plea deal, or I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Might just go kamikaze at the last second and just say, nah. I don't know." But he said, "No, actually, I didn't even look down. I didn't notice it." And I said, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just thought you noticed it. Maybe it was just me being self-conscious or something." And but I just like to talk to people, kind of tell them, if they're wondering. And told them I was in the military, that I'm not a criminal, and that they'll put these on people before they're convicted. And so they have to run around in their neighborhood and the town they live in, go to all the stores they go to, and have that ankle bracelet on. And not a lot of people are going to question you about it. They're going to assume that you are a convicted criminal. You have this ankle bracelet on because you need to be monitored monitored at all times, and yeah, so they get that thought in their head. And I told the guy, I said, yeah, man, I just wanted to let you know that I haven't been convicted, I'm not a criminal, and how the system works. And he's like, oh, okay, I didn't, know that, whatever. And I explained to him that the reason I had this on, because I was researching some abuse that I'd gone through when I was a kid, and spoke with an Avondale police officer and filmed them and explained to them that I'm not going to give up researching this, fighting this, trying to find out who's responsible for this, and who the targeting is coming from. I explained to him a little bit about targeting, about FISA. It sounded like he kind of knew already. But it was a really good opportunity for me to talk to somebody that understands what it's like to be judged, or to have somebody assume something about you. And first off, the guy's black, so there's a lot of racist people. I shouldn't say a lot. In my experience, being a white guy, probably 1%, 0.5% of the people that I meet, less than that, are racist. But so he's already dealt with that. He grew up in Milwaukee. The guy's an older guy. He lived through some racist times. And on top of that, he's got vitiligo. And if you don't know what vitiligo is, it's when you lose the pigment in your skin. Anybody can get it: white, black, Mexican, anyone. It just has to do with the pigment in your skin. And you start to lose the color in that skin, and your skin becomes completely white. So that guy understood what I was talking about, and he said, yeah, I have this, and everybody thinks I've been in a fire. I said, yeah, man, I know exactly what that is. You have vitiligo. My mom's got it. And I was like, how many times have you been asked if you've been in a fire? He's like, I don't know, my whole life. I can't even count. And he actually told me a funny story about this. He worked for the school district for like 31 years in Milwaukee, he said. And he said this, he was working on a truck, and I don't know why there was a kid out there, but a kid came up to him and said, Mister, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And he goes, are you black turning white or white turning black? And he said he couldn't help but laugh, because it was coming from a kid, not an adult that actually knows. And he said, yeah, man, a lot of people just go ahead and they see one thing, they make an assumption, and they go with that instead of asking. And I said, yes, exactly, that's exactly how I feel with this ankle monitor on. If I wish people could know the entire story. And I guess that's why I'm talking about this stuff so much, because I want people to know my story. And yeah, it was just good conversation. Oh, and on top of that, I told him about the targeting and the FISA and stuff, and I didn't even mention FBI, CIA. He goes, yep, J. Edgar Hoover, man, they killed Martin Luther King. And I got excited. I was like, yes, exactly. The program he was in, that they surveilled him, monitored every single move he made, the people that shot him, was part of this COINTEL program. And he was speaking out against Vietnam, for black rights, a lot of positive things. People that were being oppressed, people that were being lied to, sent to war, spoke out about that. They killed him in COINTELPRO, and that guy knew that. So I said, yes, that's exactly what happened to Martin Luther King. He was murdered in the COINTEL program, and the new version of it is called COINTELPRO 2.0, and that's exactly what's going on. It's funded through FISA, in my opinion. And his eyes got kind of wide, like, wow, that's still going on, but he knew, when he said that he worked at the school district, he said that he knew that when people would speak out about something going on, he saw it happen. He saw it happen a lot. And, was that guy delusional? I don't think so. I think he's just an astute person. Sounded like he had actually paid attention to some things in his life, and had seen some things, probably kept his mouth shut if he made it 31 years. And, but he knew what I was talking about. And there's people out there. So, for all you targets out there that are going through this, and you're just, oh, I'm getting boxed in right now. All you targets that are out there going through this, remember, always remember, that it's not every single person on the planet. it feels that way at one point in your time because they surround you so much. And know that there are good people out there. There are people that will listen to your information. They're the kind of people that, well, like they're like we are, but they haven't been targeted yet. You know, maybe they were a little more tactful with being outspoken. You know, I'm not sure how they made it through or what's going on, but there are good people out there that don't want this to be happening. I mean, if you want to come into my lane, man, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, is that a lady driving that truck or just a guy with long hair that looked like a lady? Nope, that was a lady. Come on, lady, you're not making women drivers look very good. You can't keep it in your lane. Maybe your steering wheel's kind of like mine. Got a little bit of play in it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the guy I met in the post office. Seemed like a good interaction. Wrote down my name, told him I had about 100 videos on YouTube to go ahead and check him out. I hope he sees this one. Hey man, I hope you see this video. I hope you look it up and hear me talking about you. You're from the short time I talked to you, it sounds like you're a good person, and people like me really appreciate having a genuine conversation about real issues. And shaking my hand, you know, like a man. You're a good man. As far as I can tell to this point, you know. Sometimes I find out later on down the road that the people I thought were good people weren't. But hey, man, you're on the right track, and I appreciate it. Everybody else out there appreciates people like you that will actually listen, and I really do hope you look this video up. So, yeah, and right after the post office nice interaction with that guy. I just happened to be leaving the post office, and there were a couple what they looked like unmarked police cars up in the distance at the intersection. They were just sitting there, and there wasn't any procession going on. And as soon as I pulled out onto the road, those guys got out, looked down the road, checked me out, and then the funeral procession started going. And they really do orchestrate large events like that. And I'm not saying it is 100% for sure that was for me, because funeral processions happen. People die, people go to funerals. I've seen them my whole life. I've been in a few, more than I'd like to remember. And so I do keep that in mind, because I am a rational person. Being in this program and seeing some of the really orchestrated events, you have to wonder sometimes. I haven't explained the most bizarre street theater yet. I try to explain the basic stuff that's more believable, because some of the stuff they do is so unbelievable that even if you talk about what they did, most normal people would say, like, who would take the effort? Who would spend the time, spend the money, take the effort, organize all this stuff, go through everything to slow you down a little bit? Well, it's look at the bigger picture. Look at how much money there is out there. Understand that there's $23 trillion missing from the Federal Reserve, and that $23 trillion could easily fund this program. With a caravan of cars coming by you to slow you down, people on the freeway surrounding you, trying to run you off the road. It's not that hard for you to wrap your head around. Look at the military spending that we have in the United States. Look how much money we spend on one project. To drop a bomb, like say you've got an AIM-9X. It's a heat-seeking missile. or rocket, whatever they call it. That F-16 uses that. I believe they use on. I think they can put it on just about any of our aircraft. F-16, F-15, F-22, you know, F-135, Joint Strike Fighter. I'm pretty sure they can. I know they can put it on the F-16. I've touched them on the flight line. You know. And by the way, if one of those has a brown and yellow circle on it, that means it's live. That means it's a real rocket. It's not just up there to look neat, because they have the static display, or not even static display, but the mock rockets they put on there. They're not inert. But just to drop one of those, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Drop one, or not even drop one, shoot it. So imagine how many times that happens, and imagine how much that costs. And that's only one. I'm only talking about one piece of ammunition. The aircraft itself, you know, $20 million. Who knows how much the F-22s are. I knew all of this information at one time, but you know, only so much will fit into your head, and it kind of squirts out the other side. So anyway, we spend billions and billions and billions of dollars on military contracts, stuff like that, and that right there. If you did some research, you know, everybody has this. It's like they think up this little cartoon in their head of how the world is, and then when somebody brings some real information to the table, they can't compute it. They can't. They don't have enough knowledge or education to make an educated statement or decision on what's going on. They just don't understand. You know, it's like, you know, we don't understand it, let's kill it, that kind of thing. You know, caveman mentality. So this isn't that tough to figure out. Once the information is presented in front of you, if you're any kind of analytical person and you digest that information, think it through. Think about the bigger picture, not just what's in front of you. Like, you know, people make $20, $30 an hour. How can anybody afford to do that? Okay, we're not talking about us, the people that are down here fighting for the crumbs. And we're talking about the people that have risen above through whatever means that they have taken to get to that point. Whatever they've done to people, and there becomes such a gap between the rich and the poor that the rich can just basically control the poor. And you know, I'm not homeless yet, but I am definitely falling on the poverty line right now. Even though I have, you know, my business is still going okay. They've been going at it nonstop for a while now, and I just keep fighting back. But I think eventually they might chip away at it to where it looks like I was the incompetent one. Like the items that are stolen from my house and then they sell, and then I have to tell the customer that we don't have the item, and then eBay's thinking, well, I mean, if they're just putting it away in their house, they must be disorganized. How can they not find the stuff that they put on eBay? Yeah, I think the same thing too, because it doesn't make any sense at all. And then you get these questions like, you know, I tried to tell an officer that people were breaking into my house, stealing small items, moving things around to gaslight me, and you know, they immediately put it back on you. No matter what, they're going to put it back on you. They won't say, well, hey, maybe we can help investigate this. They're going to say, well, who lives with you? Who's in your house? You know, they become professionals at turning it around on you and then escalating the situation to make it look like it's your issue. Like, you know, I saw a video yesterday, I believe it was the cops pulling this guy over. He was on probation, he had a drug charge, but they pulled him over, and he had a curfew of 10 o'clock. So he's got the paper in his back pocket that says his curfew is 10 o'clock. The police officer's computer says that it's 8 o'clock. So he dings him on that. Handcuffs him, and then the guy's doing drywall. He's doing construction, so he's got drywall dust on his car. So the police officer goes ahead and assumes, here comes fire truck, engine 15. So he goes ahead and assumes, damn it, fire truck caught me off guard. Good job, you distracted me enough to forget what the hell I was talking about. Good job. Got me on that one. Oh, there it is. The guy's doing drywall. He's got drywall dust all over his car because he's been working. These guys go ahead and assume that it's cocaine or yellow crack or something like that without testing it. They tell this guy he's got cocaine dust or crack dust in his car. He's not supposed to be. The guy's literally doing nothing wrong. He's trying to go to work, trying to get home on time. His paper says 10 o'clock, and these guys go ahead and escalate it, and they turn an issue or a non-issue into an issue because they can lock that guy up. He's already on probation. The judge is going to see him and say, well, you've already had these issues, you're on probation. You know, the guy's going to try to be like, well, I was working, it was drywall, I was out before my curfew, you know, and then he's got to go through all that. And if he doesn't have an attorney, he might not know how to speak properly in front of the judge and defend himself because he doesn't have any money. And you could just see in the guy's face how upset he was, how wrong it was, what was going on. You know, I felt bad for him, and all these people that are. I mean, the police officer that just ran the guy over with his car. That guy got fired within hours, so that's good. But you know, these guys are getting out of hand, and it's not public service anymore. It's not police officers, it's enforcement officers, and they're finding every little thing that they can imagine. Get you. You know, put you in a situation that will affect your livelihood. And even if you aren't convicted, even if you make it through all that, you spent all that time and effort trying to prove that you didn't do anything wrong. And they just keep drilling. They don't leave you alone. So that's where we're at here. That's where we're at here in the United States. And it's all over. It's not just here in Arizona. It's everywhere. I see videos from all over the place. California, New York. I mean, just name a state. There's a new one pops up every single day of somebody being harassed and the police escalating the situation to a level that it should never have gone. If they want peace in society, they need to learn how to de-escalate the situation, but that's not how they're being trained right now. I really don't believe that that's how they're being trained. It's almost like these guys are getting standard operating procedures to go out and escalate as many situations as they can, put as many people behind bars, clear off the streets, then they can get everybody in prison and use those people for 5 cents an hour slave labor to make their computer chips or their whatever they make. I had a client when I was an insurance agent. He was probably the richest client I had. You know, a couple $1 million in the bank account, millions of dollars in assets. Flying to a guy had businesses in Vietnam. He exported cardboard to Vietnam, those pallets, those bundles. Exported those to Vietnam. He ran a business at the Chowchilla, I believe it was the Chowchilla Women's Facility, where actually my ex-wife's dad happened to be a prison guard. But that guy owned a business where they employed prison workers for pennies on the dollar, and he made some kind of computer chip that, you know, you use for something, and they had these people make those chips. This guy was living over in North Fresno, which is a nice part of town, in I don't know, probably about an $800,000 house. They had several nice cars. They weren't hurting. They were going on vacations. Every time I talked to them, they were in some other country. And they're doing that on the backs of these prisoners. Half of these people that are in there don't need to be in there locked up like a slave. They need to be out in society where they can actually contribute to society. So as I'm saying this, I know there's probably some people like, what, you want a bunch of criminals out and sit? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I want the enforcement agencies to stop manipulating people and using psychology to entrap them and enslave them. It's exactly what's going on. It's a mind game. You're accused. Society immediately, if you're accused, they put your mugshot in the paper before you're convicted of anything. They use the absolute worst photo they can find to make you look horrible. They give you an ankle bracelet before you go to court to make you look bad in front of the people in your society, the people in your town that you do business with. Before I knew all this was going on, if I knew, I'm just saying, before I knew all of this was going on and I saw somebody with one of these ankle monitors, I would probably think the same thing. I would probably think, wow, what'd that guy do? Rob a bank or something like that? And now he's out, and did he kill somebody? Why did they have to have that thing on his ankle? I don't get it. I've never been part of that. I've never had to research that. So I would probably, before I knew all this was going on, that would go through my mind too. What'd this person do? Now I know you can wear one of these things without being convicted. And they might still convict me. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen in the targeting life. You have no idea what's coming. And I just hope that this kind of information gets out there to these kind of people that are doing this, that actually are being fooled. Like, say they're just, because everything's compartmentalized in this program. So, you've got the people doing the vehicular stalking, you've got the people doing the noise campaigns, directed energy weapons, all this different stuff that they're doing. The directed energy weapons, I mean, come on, you got to be some kind of psycho to be like, yeah, I'll do that, I'll aim this thing at this person and torture them. This is Glendale. I think I just went up the curb. I think I didn't bust my tire. Looked like that was an open driveway right there, and good thing I'm in the 4Runner, not a car. All right, I think what I'm gonna do before I go any further, this has been a long enough video. Thank you everybody for listening. And I kind of ramble sometimes, but I don't have a script. I just start talking about things that go on, issues, stuff I feel like I need to talk about. So if anybody has any questions about this, if anybody wants to contact me and talk about this live on YouTube Live, the invite is still open. I'm probably going to mention that on every video I do until somebody actually takes me up on that. And I really don't care if you are, just like just an average person with an interest in this, or if you're a military general. It doesn't matter. I am willing to speak with anybody about this. Like I said, live. You can ask me any questions you want, as long as you give me a chance to talk. If you try to do the thing where you push me to where I can't even say anything, and you just keep talking over me, and doing that kind of tactic, then that's not what we're looking for here. We're We're looking for you to be a smart, insightful person that actually can debunk what I'm saying, and not just by saying, well, there's no proof. There's plenty of proof. Plenty of people out there that have worked right alongside these people that are doing this, that got to a certain level and said, nope, no, this isn't helping anything. What's wrong with these people? Yeah, I'm gonna keep rambling. If I keep going on, I need to look up some directions here. I think I missed a street, and I hope everybody has an awesome day. If anybody wants to contact me, let's talk about it. Have a good day.